Hey everybody, it is Monday, September 19th. We are here to do our webinar about the Healy microcurrent frequency device, and we're so glad all of you are here. I do want to point out that this is an overview for new people to check out the Healy. So if you already have a Healy and you have some questions and stuff, that's for another night. But for all of our new people, if you do have questions, feel free to type it into the chat, and either me or Ray or Lori, that are our panelists, we will answer your questions as much as we can. But again, this is for new people that are checking out the Healy for the first time, and we're very excited to share this with you. Also, let me just introduce myself. I'm David Pritchard, and we have Ray Jatan and Lori Falk. We are all Healy board members, which means we've been selected by Healy Corporate in the United States to be part of a 10 panel where we can have we get to interact with corporate, give them some ideas, hear their ideas, bounce ideas back and forth. And that really just means we've been doing this for a while, and they've recognized that we've had some success sharing Healy with people. So hopefully that will let you know that we do deal with this every day, pretty much on a full-time basis, and we can certainly answer your questions and share a lot of good information. So Ray and Lori, why don't you quickly just say hi?
Hello, everybody. Glad you're here with us tonight.
Hey, everybody. I'm Lori Falk. I'm a health and wellness coach, and I can tell you that this device is changing the lives of all of my clients in miraculous ways. And I'm thrilled to be here tonight to share with you some of the ways that's happening.
Yeah, and Lori, why don't we do this first part a little bit differently? Usually I kind of share a little bit about what frequencies are, just if we have new people that have never heard of energy medicine or frequencies. Why don't you give a quick explanation of what energy medicine or frequencies are and how frequencies can affect us at the cellular level, emotions. Do you have a quick informational explanation of that?
Well, certainly. It's all quantum physics. Isn't that easy? Oh, no. Seriously, the quantum physicists have taught us over the last couple of decades that everything is energy. And if everything is energy, everything has a vibrational frequency to it. And, you know, over the years, people way smarter than I, who are way more scientific than most of us, have actually calculated what the frequency should be for something to be in balance, whether it is your liver, whether it is a red blood cell, whether it is your neurotransmitters. Every one of those has a specific frequency that it should be monitored at that would make it be in balance. And so what the Healy can do is go in and find the imbalances in the frequencies, and in turn go ahead and correct those imbalances. And when you can correct the imbalances, life happens in magical ways, absolutely positively magical ways. Gabby's trying to get in and tell you her testimonial, but it's not your time yet. Wait, okay. We'll get to you. Anyway, it's a magical device, and frequencies. If everything is frequencies and we have a device that reads where the imbalances in your frequencies are and then goes back and corrects them, I don't think it gets much better than that. And that's the kind of things I'm seeing happening every single day now with my clients. Yeah. And I've been coaching for 20 years, and there's nothing that has made the impact that this device has made. Wow. And I'll share my story a little later about biofeedback. So
wonderful. Yes, I can't wait to hear that story again. You have a great one there. But yeah, let me share a couple more things. When I first heard about the Healy, I didn't know anything about energy medicine frequencies. I saw those posts people put online, like raise your vibration, and I thought, what are these people talking about? That sounds crazy, right? I had no clue. I had heard of a Rife machine. Maybe some of you have heard of that from way back in the 1930s. There was a man that was experimenting with this idea of frequencies, and he was having a lot of luck putting an actual low electrical current through someone's body by them holding onto some copper rods, and it would send frequency through the body, and he found at specific frequencies there would be a certain result at the cellular level, and he was having luck with different diseases, different issues. So that was pretty cool. And way back then, also, you're probably familiar with Nikola Tesla. He said, if you want to understand the secrets to the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So that's, about 100 years ago, he said that. And also, Albert Einstein said, the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. So they've known this for a long time, that our bodies are made up of energy, frequency, down at the subatomic level. Everything can be measured. And we have a bioenergetic field around our body that's like an electromagnetic field. The quantum physicists actually call this the information field, because now we can read it. We have devices like the Time Waver, which is the parent company to Healy, or the Healy device itself that has a quantum sensor and can read that bioenergetic field, see which frequencies are out of balance, and then which frequencies we can add to your field or to your body through electrodes, which I'll show you in a minute, and have a great result. So as I heard about this from a doctor friend of mine, it's a holistic doctor out of Idaho, Dr. Corrine Allen, which some of you here know or that can see on this meeting here. She called me back in May of 2020 and said, you got to see this thing. This is amazing. And she's dealt with lots of different frequency devices, but I just didn't know much about it. She explained it to me. I trust her so much. I went ahead and bought one on the spot. Okay. And then I just started sharing the information about Healy, because this seemed like such an amazing device. And it became a full-time business for me overnight. I mean, literally, he's making a full-time income just sharing Healy and referring other people to the company. So it's a very cool option that we have there too. I think now I'll let Ray come on board, tell his story, but also share some about Time Waver, which is like the parent company to Healy, and also Marcus Schmika, the inventor of the Healy and Time Waver. So go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, I'm still today fascinated with all that this device can do. I found out about this right at 2 years ago. My son had a major growth spurt. Today, he's a senior in high school and playing soccer. Back then, 2 years ago, he's 15. And the growth spurt, he grew 6 inches in about 8 months' time. So fast that he's got stretch marks on his back. And he was having a real difficult time running or walking, let alone running. And we headed out for vacation to pick up some of my best friends. And when they saw him, they said, hey, we just bought this cool little device that's out of Germany, and it's cleared by the FDA for chronic and acute pain, arthritis, and muscle soreness. And it has hundreds of other programs that are, quote, non-medical related, like for stress and anxiety and depression and you name it, it's in there basically. They said it was a scanning device, not only a device that could help with pain, but they suggested we go ahead and connect Titus, my son, and see what it could do. They were brand new with it. They'd only had their device for a week, and had only been in the US market for about 3 months at that point. So they ran a 20-minute pain program on him, and about 2 hours later, he was walking normal. And my wife says, I got to have one of those. So we purchased one and had one on its way, and had it on our hands almost by the time we got back to Missouri from vacation. And it's been life-changing. So my first experience with this type of technology was from another practitioner that had a device like the Time Waver, which is Time Waver is our parent company. So Time Waver is much bigger than what you see here. They actually make the devices that are, they sit on a desk and they plug into a laptop, and they're about $40,000 to get one of these devices. And I sat in this practitioner's chair holding on to these brass rods, and she could send frequencies into my body and tell me what was going on. And she could see that, number one, I was a type 1 diabetic, which I have been for 38 years almost. And then she said that that I had E. coli and bacteria in my system, that I had a low thyroid. And by the way, E. coli and bacteria is how I ended up with diabetes 38 years ago. And then she said I dealt with depression and anxiety, which was true, but it's probably true for most business owners. But anyway, I sat there in her chair for about 3.5 hours, and she was sending frequencies back and forth, and she could see all this stuff. So fast forward 3 years, that's when I found out about the Healy. And I was intrigued enough by the other device that I looked in to try to find out how do I get one. It just wasn't practical for me to spend that kind of money. Now, when Time Waver decided to take this little device to market, it was back in 2017. And they took it to market through the practitioners first because the practitioners had some issues with employees and everything else. It costs a lot to get certified to run that Time Waver device, and with turnover for employees, and they wanted something that could be used as an extension to their care. So that's when they launched this to the practitioners in 2017, and they spent a lot of money in research and development to put that time waiver technology in such a small device to where we could use it. And by 2019, they realized that the practitioners weren't really the greatest at selling. So that's when they uh, tried a different market, and they opened it up to social selling, where average people like me could be able to use this on myself and my family and loved ones and share it with other people. And so in 2019, they took this to the other world markets. And at the end of the year, they had already sold $7 million worth of devices, which is pretty good for our first year, right? Well, the second year in 2020, they came into the US market. So the pandemic had already hit. They came into the US in May, and by the end of 2020, they had done over $100 million worth of business. So needless to say, there were some issues during 2020 with manufacturing distribution and with customer service. Customer service was only in Germany at that point. Today, the US is the only other market outside of Germany that has a customer service department and a home office. So we're far past those issues that we had in 2020 with Healy. So going forward, we're in really good shape with customer service and support, and of course we have amazing support with our team. And so this has just been life changing for us physically. Um, Physically, this is the single biggest thing that I've ever done to help my diabetes and lowering the amount of insulin that I take on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's done a lot for hormones with my daughters and my wife. Uh, we just keep sharing this with people, and you know, when I was first introduced to this, my wife came home, and she had a challenge going on, and I fix problems. So I said, well, why don't you do a scan and run a program? And she did one of these things where she put her hand on her hip and took the finger out at me and said, how do you expect me to do that when you're the Healy hog? So I realized I was going to have to ante up and get a second device. So when I went to my friends, they were just customers, so they didn't really know, but they introduced me to another guy named Les, who told me how to go ahead and purchase another device. And he said, Ray, if you're going to purchase another device, you need to sign up as a member so that you can have the fast start benefits. And I said, what's that? He said, well, if you sell 3 of these, then they're going to send you another device for free. Well, I was all about the free stuff. So I didn't care about any business opportunity that might be available or not. I just wanted a free device. So I shared it with 6 people, thinking, well, if I need 3, I better share it with at least 6, maybe 10. And then when I approached these 6 people, I didn't want them to think that I had to sell them anything. I really didn't care about that. But I said, it's from Germany. It's a, it's cleared by the FDA for chronic and acute pain, arthritis, and muscle soreness, and it's a scanner, and it can scan for this and that, mainly, related things that they might be aware of. And I said, it doesn't matter to me if you buy one of these or not, but you're going to know somebody we can help. And they said, well, if it can help somebody, I'll be glad to let you do a free personal frequency scan on me. And lo and behold, what happened was when we scanned them all 6 of these folks, every one of them, they resonated with what pulled up on the scan. And they're like, oh my gosh, how did it know that? Because this is a biofeedback device. It reads you. And they said, I got to have one of those. And I sold one to all 6 of those people. And I was thinking, when in the history of my life have I ever had 100% when it come to offering something to somebody? And again, I didn't care if I sold it to them or not. I was just wanting to help other people. Of course, I wanted to earn my 3, and that's how we got started with this. So I know I've kind of rambled on. Lori, I think it's probably your turn to share your story. You want to take it away from there?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ray. I just wanted to tell you guys, biofeedback saved my life 25 years ago. I'm not kidding you. I had a naturopath that I was working with after several years of dealing with major depressive disorder and chronic fatigue and anxiety. And, the traditional medical model did the best they could, and they threw all their drugs at me, and nothing was really catching, nothing was really working. And I was in pretty bad shape. So I was divinely guided to this naturopath who had just gotten a biofeedback device. It was one of the first in the United States at that time. They were bringing it in as experimental material, research material. So it was called the QXCI, for those who might have heard of that way back in the day. And she ran the scan on me, and she looked at me and she said, were you ever in an accident? And I said, I was. And I said, I was hit by a truck. I was out hailing a cab in New York City, and this truck hit me right here. Didn't hit me in a car, hit me right here. And certainly it almost cost me my life. I woke up and the truck was that close to running me over. But subsequently, that created a very major injury in my neck. My cranial base is actually torqued on a 30-degree angle. And so as a result, all that muscle contraction and pain contracted the vertebrae, and the vertebrae were compressed. The C1 through C3 were totally compressed, and the neurotransmitters that get made in your stomach weren't getting up my spinal column into my brain. So traditional medicine could have thrown any meds they wanted to at it, but the serotonin and the dopamine weren't going to get up the spinal column into the brain. Nothing was going to shift. And so the Healy, or not the Healy, but the QXCI back then was able to actually rebalance my energies, rebalance my frequencies, and help the neck to relax and help to straighten that out, which was awesome and amazing. But here's the key. Even back then, it was $100 to $150 a session. Today, it's $150 to $300 a session. So I'd maybe go once a month. I'd scrape all my pennies together and go, and I'd feel better for a week or so. And then I'd wait and get more money together and I'd go. I mean, I was onto something that was helping, which was phenomenal. But it's not just that these practitioners, weren't good at selling devices, but it's still what happened when they introduced the Healy was that you could run these biofeedback sessions on yourselves every day. So when you look at what these devices cost versus what you would pay to go have that many frequency sessions, it is absolutely off the charts. Probably the most inexpensive thing you'll ever get for yourself, because you can, with one device, you can treat yourself, you can treat your family members, you can treat clients if you're a practitioner, you can treat your pets. Treat, that's that word we're not supposed to use. You can examine and rebalance and find where the imbalances are, and then go in and correct those imbalances. So if biofeedback saved my life 25 years ago, the Healy gave me my life back, because for 25 years, I dealt with major depressive disorder episodes, up and down, up and down, up and down. I couldn't keep myself consistent until the Healy came into my life. And when the Healy came into my life, then I could use it every day. And I could stop a depressive episode in an hour and a half. I could literally shift it from crashing to stabilized to normal. Do you know how exciting that is? It gave me my life back. It's really exciting. It's absolutely, and then I couldn't stop talking about it. I sold 13 before I ever had my Healy in my hands, because I knew how powerful it was going to be able to use it every single day on myself. And I do. Right now, I run 3. Okay, one's on the charger, but I've got 2. I run 3 a day because I'm using it on my clients. And the results that my clients are having are absolutely otherworldly. I just had a client this past week who's been dealing with kind of an inner ear imbalance and super major pain in those in that area. And when those episodes hit for her, she's laid out for like 8 hours. Well, I was, trying some of the pain programs on her, and I was trying just doing an overall scan on her. And finally I said, you know what? We have this incredible coaching module that's on the device that will go in and find where the imbalance is, where the blocks are, where the subconscious programs and limiting beliefs are between where you are and where you're going to feel, where you're going to be at when you feel healthy and pain-free. So I took her through this guided visualization to imagine what her life would be like when she was no longer having these episodes, when she was totally pain-free, when she didn't have to worry, she can make plans and just go about her life as if it was never going to be an issue again. And then we did a scan within the Healy coaching module. This is so exciting. I just found this out today. She literally didn't have it. We ran the program on her for an hour, and she didn't have any pain for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's the longest she had ever gone without having any pain, because we had gotten to the emotional root cause behind what was causing the pain. And it was healing it at that subconscious level. So all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, she was at a bachelorette party and didn't probably, take her meds on time, maybe had a few cocktails, heaven only knows, but the pain hit. So she texted me, and I said, go lay down for an hour. I ran the program on her for another hour, and an hour later she was out walking, spent the rest of the day out and about. So it was absolutely positively the most incredible thing. And now she's like, how do I get one? How fast can you get me one? She's just like, and she's had exposure to the Healy for over a year, but it was that, using that and getting to that deep emotional root cause. If I tell you I'm a health and wellness coach, I've been a coach for 20 years, I won't coach anyone anymore unless they have a Healy. Because I can get in 6 minutes what it would take me 6 months to find without the Healy. So it works on so many absolutely incredible levels. I have a rescue dog, Gabby, who was trying to get her little nose up on the screen a little earlier, and she was afraid of her own shadow when I got her. As soon as I got my Healy, I started running programs on her. We have programs within this device that will go in and look at the emotions, Bach flower essences, bush flower essences, Alaskan gem elixirs, literally pull up where the imbalances are, and we'll show you the top 5 areas, including the emotional components behind those essences, if you will. And now I have a peek into the mind of my darling cockapoo. I can tell what's going on with her emotionally. They can't just say, Mom, I'm upset about X, Y, or Z, and that's why I'm acting this way. But now I had something that was showing me how she actually felt, that we could go in and shake all those emotions loose and rebalance that for her. Within weeks, I'd be out walking my dog, and people would say to me, Lori, what's going on with her? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, she's got this whole different personality. She's friendly and she's outgoing. And I just took her on a little excursion this weekend. I watched her and witnessed her with total strangers, just going up to them and letting them pet her and giving them kisses. Not a fear in the world. And this is just with 2 years of using the Healy. So I know I'm sharing with you stories of myself and my clients and my adorable cockapoo Gabby, but I'm telling you, this is the best thing I ever did for myself, was get one of these. And I never intended to create a business, but it's a whole nother side of all of this, which obviously the three of us have done. But that wasn't my point. My point was to have something that could give me peace and calm and mental health and well-being on a daily basis. And now I know how incredible it can be for so many other aspects of our lives. So,
All right.
David, you want to show us how it works?
Yeah, let me do a demonstration so people can see exactly what we're talking about here. This is the Healy itself. And in this case, I have these wires connected to do microcurrent. It's one of the 3 ways we can do frequency. So microcurrent means wires that are hooked, in this case, to these electrodes on my wrists. They're just kind of a bracelet that's Velcro, goes on real easy. And I can run frequencies through the body because it's going to send the microcurrent, a very low electrical current at specific frequencies, through the cells and water in my body. Another option is I can take out the wires, and this is actually a Tesla coil, believe it or not. You've heard of Nikola Tesla, and he made a Tesla coil which could transmit energy across space, and that's what this does as well. There's actually 2 Tesla coils in here. It creates something called a 0-point field. For those of you quantum physicists, you would know what that is, but it's able to transmit frequencies in scalar waves. Maybe I'm getting a little too technical for you. Really what it does is make it so I can do frequencies without wires. Now, if I can do this, why would I ever do this? Well, they're different. Healy would say that this is more intense, and you should only do this maybe about 3 times a day, and put several hours of gap in between sessions, because your body absorbs all this frequency and energy, and the cells need to do something with that for a while. When you do these, it's a little more into the bioenergetic field, or that EMF field around your body. The quantum physicists call that your information field. And so it's much more subtle, and you can do these kind of frequencies with the wireless, with the Tesla coil, back to back to back all day long if you want. So I try to do some of both every day. But again, now that making it so I can do 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 programs a day if I want, instead of going and spending hundreds of dollars for one session at a therapist. So it's pretty amazing. And not just for me, I can do this for my whole family, right? Okay, so I'm going to plug the wires back in so I can demonstrate how we run a program. And I just clip it here to my shirt, or you can put it in your pocket. You want it to be within that bioenergetic field of your body, because the Healy has a quantum sensor that'll be reading that field. I'm going to share my screen of my phone, because we control the Healy from a smartphone or from a tablet. And here we go. Whoops, right here. There we go. So now you're seeing my phone, and you'll see I have several different Healy apps. These top 2 are the main ones we're going to focus on today. This one with the pink dot, we call it the pink dot app, but it's called the Healy app. This is where we would do microcurrent frequencies with the electrodes on your wrist or the coil. It's connecting by Bluetooth right now between the app on my phone and the Healy. And you can see the last program I was running was one for skin. I'll cancel that though and go back to the beginning and show you all the cool programs we have. So Gold Cycle is developed by one of these time waiver practitioners. Yes.
David, we're not seeing your screen yet.
Okay, let's see. Let me try again. stop share. Oh, I think I need to turn off this other program that I have going. Quit that. Share screen. Share. And Zoom. Okay, how's that? Do you see that?
There we go.
Okay, so connect to Healy. All right, so we'll go back here again. Gold Cycle these are 7 different programs developed by a practitioner out of Portugal that's a time waiver therapist. And these are kind of generalized programs that work in all areas, physical, mental, emotional, and so on. And very, very popular. But then we get a lot more specific here with pain programs. These are the 2 that are FDA cleared. And then we have tooth and jaw pain, joint pain, migraine pain, insomnia, anxiety, depression, learning programs to help you with memory and concentration. These are amazing with kids that have ADHD, able to concentrate and sit down and read a book without bouncing off the walls. It's absolutely incredible. Fitness programs. I run either the strength or the stamina or the performance program while I'm, for instance, riding my bike up a mountain or something. Afterwards, I run the regeneration program to help my muscles recover. Okay, and then we can do muscle and relaxation, performance, all these amazing fitness programs. We have job and sleep programs, mental balance programs, beauty and skin, bioenergetic harmony 1 and 2. There's 2 pages of these. Back here, I'll show you this nerves program was instrumental for me. I had this ongoing numbness in my right hand, especially this finger. And my degrees in piano performance, I like to play the piano, and I didn't like having no feeling in that finger. So it's almost like a neuropathy thing going on that extended from a pinched nerve I had in the past. And the Healy, when I did these scans, like I'm going to show you in a minute, would tell me the nerves program was one of the most important programs for me over and over and over. I would run that, and now I've got all that feeling back. So let me just show you what it looked like to run that. I click nerves. It says it's going to be about a 45-minute program, and I should use the electrodes on the wrist like I have. Or it does say here you could use the Healy coil, of course, as well, and do it wirelessly. I'm going to hit start. It transmits the frequencies that are part of this nerves program from the Healy app in your phone or tablet or any kind of iOS type device or Android device. And it sends those frequencies over to the Healy. Now, this one's going pretty slow because that must mean there's a lot of frequencies. So Time Waver has found out that there's many, many, many different things that could affect nerves, right? Could maybe your circulation or your lymphatic system, or there's so many things that might affect how your nerves react, that it's not just one frequency, it's multiple frequencies. In this case, it looks like it's probably hundreds of frequencies. And when the program starts, it will actually select frequencies because of the quantum sensor in the Healy, scanning my bioenergetic field and selecting frequencies out of those hundreds that are the ones I need the most. So if you and I were to run this program at the same time, it would actually select different frequencies for me than it would for you, because we're different. And as it's starting to provide frequencies and put frequencies into my body, that changes everything. So that's why it's important that it's reading my field the whole time, and that it's called IMF, individualized microcurrent frequencies, because as we receive frequency, things are adjusting and shifting in our field, and this is going to take care of that. I should have selected a program that didn't have so many frequencies, because this is taking a long time, but it's about done. So you'll see when the actual program starts, it looks like this. It's running the nerves program. There's 886.8 hertz right now. After 10 seconds, that will change to a new frequency. And this little red dot's going to go around here for about 45 minutes as I can monitor the program. Now it's 668 hertz. And you'll see it as low as 0.1 hertz, and I've seen it in the hundreds of thousands of hertz. So depending on the program, here's 999 in this case. Now I can adjust the intensity here. Actually, I'll go down first and show you what it looks like when you have very low intensity. This line will go black, meaning I don't have enough current to create the circuit through my body, and I'm not getting the frequencies I need. So we typically bump that up. I'm very well hydrated, so even at 15%, I'm seeing white, but that's not typical. You want to drink a lot of water. That does help. So I bump it up until I start to feel it a little bit. Here, around 40%, 45%, I can feel some tingling in my fingers. It's pretty cool. And that's where I like to run it, where I can feel just a little bit and I know it's going. But really what's important is that this line is white, as it's now doing 993 hertz. Look what happens if I unplug one. It goes black. Okay, I've interrupted the circuit. So my body is part of the circuit. It knows that the frequencies are traveling between the two wrists here, and my body is in there. So the frequencies are going through the water and all the cells in my body and making an impact on me physically at a physiological level. But as you saw, we had things like learning and mental balance. It can even affect brain waves and emotions and all sorts of cool things. So physical, mental, emotional health, everything. All right, so that's really how you'd run a program. Let me just show you really quick some more of the programs we have. This other one, Sciatica Local, helped me. I had 10 years of sciatica flare-ups once or twice a week going on. I'd do all these weird stretches to try to relieve the pain and the shooting pain running down my leg. The Healy saw that. This was coming up on my scans all the time. Sometimes when I was having a flare-up, sometimes I wasn't, but the Healy knew there was an imbalance, and I would run this program whenever it said. And now for over 2 years, I've only had one flare-up in over 2 years, or I used to have once or twice a week. So it's been awesome. It's wonderful not having to deal with that pain anymore. To see meridians, if you're familiar with the idea of energy pathways in the body, this is very familiar. If you know acupuncture, that's these energy pathways in the body. We have 2 pages or 20 different meridian programs. If you're familiar with those energy centers in the body that are many times called chakras, we do have programs for each of those. Bioenergetic defense, bioenergetic support. These are frequencies for keeping us young, stem cells, human growth hormone. You can see youth and epigenetic harmonization and so on. Deep cycles, detoxing the body. Digital nutrition, it's like having a brain supplement, the vitamins and minerals and nutrients you'd use for a brain supplement, recorded as frequency information that we can send through our body as microcurrent. And there's 6 pages of that, power of 3. Expert programs mean you can actually work with one of these time waiver therapists, and they can make you custom programs, or they have programs with names like disease names, right? You could do diverticulitis or cystic fibrosis or anxiety, or they make programs for very specific things. You're not going to normally see those kind of terms in the Healy because it's a consumer device, and the FDA doesn't want it to even look like we are claiming we can cure or mitigate any disease. But if you're working with a time waiver therapist, they're a therapist. They can download a program to your Healy specifically about a disease or a symptom or an issue or anything. They can make even custom programs for you, and you own it forever. And it's on this page. So I don't have any of those, but you can do that. All right, so next I want to show you in the Heal Advisor app how we can do these scans. So this is just a little daily method of operation that I do to do scans to see what programs I would need. So we have resonance analysis, coaching analysis, aura analysis. I'm just going to focus mainly on the resonance, but just know that we're touching only a small bit of what the Healy can do here. So typically what I'll do is go here to David, to myself as the client, turn on the Healy again. For this, I don't have to have any wires or electrodes connected. This is the 3rd way of doing frequencies as well, where we can send frequencies into the quantum field. And this may sound a little weird to you, but you can even do this remotely. So if you're familiar with the idea of energy medicine and frequencies, and even doing remote sessions with someone that lives in a whole different part of the country or the world even, you can do that with the Healy here. Go to the database. You see from here down, these are all those Healy program groups you saw in my Healy, fitness, gold cycle, job, mental balance, sleep, and so on. So I can scan within any of those, or I can just go right up here where it says all Healy programs and do a scan to see which of those program groups is most important. So it's scanning my bioenergetic field right now. It's not recording my fingerprint or anything. It's just where you touch the screen. And you see it right now, it says the gold cycle is actually the most resonant with me, and then fitness, and then these digital nutrition with the Healy Watch, beauty programs, and bioenergetic harmony 1. So the most important for me right now is gold cycle. So I would scan within that, and then I would typically do these top few. I would scan within all 3 of those, write down a few of these programs, and those would be the ones I'd run throughout the day. So let me just show you. If I go to myself again, and choose the Healy Gold Cycle now, because I know it's the most resonant with me. See, there's 7 programs in the Gold Cycle, but when we do these scans, it always brings up the top 5 and in order of importance. So here I got the activation, fatigue, exhaustion, acute, positive thoughts, and balanced nerves. Oh, I did the wrong one, didn't I? I did job. Okay, I hit the wrong button. So let's go back here and do this correctly, because a gold cycle is the one that's most important. Gold cycle must be right next to job. Yep, I bumped the wrong one. So there's gold cycle. Do this scan. And I'm getting balance, pure, being, care, energy. And there are descriptions of what all these are in the Healy app manual, which is, I can even access right from the Healy app itself or download it off a back office that we have. So balance is number 1 for me. So I would typically, and I'll do this in a minute, I'll go back over to the pink app, the first app, and I would run this program with the electrodes or the coil. But I can also do this. I can take this scan result and go actions, vibrate, choose a time period. I'll go a little shorter just for time for us, and send these frequencies into my field. And this is what we can even do remotely with someone. So notice that it still has the blue wavy line that shows that it's scanning my field, but now the pink wavy line is the information it's sending into my field. And it's doing both. As it sends information, it's still scanning and adjusting and sending me frequencies from all 5 of these gold cycle programs into my bioenergetic field. But I want to also do this at a cellular level with the electrodes. So I will do that in just a second with the number 1 program for me was, let's see what it was again, balance is number 1. I do want to just show you though, we have all these other cool databases as Lori talked about. Alaskan gem elixirs, Australian bush flowers, Bach flower remedies, homeopathics for the psyche or the emotions. I'm sure some of you are familiar with things like homeopathics. If you're involved in holistic medicine, you might have heard of Bach flower remedies and some of these others. We do have I Ching, which is traditional Chinese medicine, Shuso salts, vital substances. So these are additional programs that we can scan within and do these vibrational frequencies. So we have a lot of options, just way more than we can show you here. And then, of course, we do have the coaching analysis, aura analysis that focuses on doing an aura reading of those 7 chakras and give you all the physical, mental, emotional, and so on effects that the energy balance is causing in your field and in your body. So let's go back though real quick. I want to just actually, I'm going to do this a little different way. I want to do a share of my screen a different way. So this is something for everyone. I'm experimenting with something brand new that I think is really cool. This is why I wasn't sharing earlier, because I did this wrong. So what I'm going to do is share my screen to my MacBook Pro, my phone screen. And then let's see if this works. Yep, I'll type in a little code here. 3, okay. And then I share my computer screen to you, and you're going to be able to see my phone and my computer at the same time. It's really cool. So I go share screen and to the desktop, share. Okay, so now, hopefully, maybe Lori or Ray, you can tell me, are you seeing both my computer and my phone now?
Yes.
Awesome, that's what I was hoping. So I'm gonna go to this and go back to the beginning, and I'll make the phone a little smaller. So you may have pictures of people over the top of some of this, but you can minimize that. There's a little button where you can make that smaller. And I'm going to move this phone down to the bottom just so you can see it. See, I'm having trouble figuring out how to do this. Okay, we'll do it like that, and we'll make this a little bigger. Okay, so what I want to do is on the phone, I want to show you, I'm going to run the Gold Cycle Balance program because that was number 1 for me. So connect to Healy and go back to Gold Cycle Balance. Oops, what's it doing here? Gold Cycle. I think it's already started. Start. And it's going to transmit, and you can just watch the frequencies go while I'm sharing the rest of this with you. So I want to show you the Healy additions and prices real quick. There are 5 editions of the Healy at 5 different price points, and the hardware is the same for every edition. So that means basically each edition is which program groups do you have access to? Can you do resonance analysis? Can you do aura analysis? Do you have digital nutrition as an app module? There's so many different things the Healy can do that is way beyond what we can go over tonight. But that's what that means. You're really opening up different software. So you can actually start at a lower edition if you needed to and upgrade later to a higher one. And you don't have to get a new Healy. It's just opening up more access to what you can do with your Healy. So when you get your Healy, you'll have everything you need to use it. And they give you 2 weeks from the day you receive your Healy in the mail to actually use it and try it. And if you return it within those 2 weeks, you get all your money back. Super, super rare that people do that, of course, because people love their Healys. All right. So now, the next slide. Oops. There we go. What am I doing wrong? Here we go. All right. This just shows all the different program groups that are possible. And again, depending on if you have a lower priced or a higher priced edition of the Healy, you'll have fewer or more of these program groups or app modules that you'll have access to. The Heal Advisor search module, I didn't share tonight, but you can go in there and type in a disease or a condition. You could type in diabetes and it'll show you which programs out of all these program groups that would be the ones that you would want to run to support your body for diabetes or any issue that you type in. It's actually scanning a therapist database from the time waiver therapists to provide that information. The lowest price Healy here is the Healy Gold. It's about $500. And that is pretty much an entry-level Healy. It's just got 11 microcurrent programs. The gold cycle ones, like I'm running right now, this balance program, which I'm going to bump up the intensity for me a little bit here. You can see on the screen, and you can see the frequencies that are going through here. Bioenergetic support and the 2 FDA cleared pain programs are included here, of course. So it's about $500. The far extreme, the most expensive Healy that we offer is, there we go. The Healy Professional, it's normally about $4,000, but we have several of the editions are actually half price this month, including the Professional. So we've had many, many people buy the Healy Professional at $4,000, but you can actually get that at about $2,000 right now if you want access to 216 different microcurrent programs in all of these categories and 6 different app modules that do so many different things, including that resonance module we showed you and the aura. You can read there what there is. In between, there's all these different Healy editions. As you go up an edition, you're adding more programs or more app modules. The app modules are in bold, and you go up in price. Here's with the savings right now, everything except the gold edition is half price. So no one's actually buying a gold right now because you can get the holistic that has 61 programs, 63 programs instead of 11 for the same price as the gold because the holistic is half price. But if you want to be able to do scanning and use that second app I showed you and scan your field, you need to have the resonance edition or higher, because here's where the resonance module is. Here we're adding more program groups, skin, learning, and deep cycle, but also the aura analysis and the coaching module. Gloria will tell you, you don't want to be without the coaching module. That's what she uses with their clients every day, and it's really cool. Professional module. Yeah. Professional is going to add even more program groups and more app modules. So you see as you go up in price here, but at these prices, most people are trying to go with the professional. They can afford it. And we actually have a financing option through a company called Klarna that does third-party financing for a lot of online companies and purchases. So right in our checkout screen, you can either just pay with a MasterCard or Visa, or you can check Klarna and actually see if you can qualify to do financing. And they're even offering, if you have really good credit, 0% financing right now. So that's really cool. The other thing that people would get typically in addition to a professional or whichever edition you choose is the Healy coil, because it is an accessory. It's about $225 and it lets you do those wireless programs all day long if you want back to back. Really convenient. You can put the Healy in your pocket, go off to the store, go do whatever, something where you wouldn't want to have wires hanging off your wrists. You use the coil all day long and be running frequency programs. Lastly, many of you are probably looking at this just as a great product to use for yourself and your family. You can see all the benefits of doing this for you. your spouse, your kids, your pets, like Gabby. But you can also choose to be a member. Like Ray and Lori both said they really didn't intend to really push it as a business, but Ray wanted to earn that free Healy that he could earn, right? And but you can, it doesn't cost anything to be a member. You can earn commissions for referring people. You can earn the free Healy Resonance Plus edition. And this is, we're using a network marketing distribution model. And I believe this is going to be a multi-billion-dollar company over the next several years. And honestly, when I saw this, I right away was in on the business side. I was like, okay, this isn't it. I'm entrepreneurial. I've always been self-employed. I've always had multiple streams of income. And when I saw this, I was like, this technology is going to change the world. Healy has a goal that in the next 10 years or so, we'd have 100 million families that own a Healy, and that it's going to impact the world and the world's health in a positive way beyond anything we can imagine. So we're excited to be part of that goal, but also be able to build a business with this. So for me, it's turned into a full-time business. It's allowed my wife and I to sell our house, move into an RV, travel around the country while promoting the Healy, mostly online in my case, through Zoom meetings and some internet marketing and people I meet along the way too, of course. But it is an amazing, amazing business if you're looking for another income stream that you could do. And if you care about people and would love to share the Healy. So we do have one other thing I just want to show you. Healy came out with a brand new product just a few weeks ago that's available, and it's this little guy. You can see the flashing lights that are different frequencies as well. But this is actually filling my room with an atmosphere through a magnetic field. So Healy is going to continue coming up with new exciting products too. See, Ray has one too. Ray, could you kind of explain what the Mag Healy can do?
The Mag Healy actually adds another modality of how we can receive frequencies, and it's from more of a magnetic field. And there's a number of different categories that are involved with this, from classic Rife and physical Rife programs. Right now, I'm actually running it on regeneration because I had one of those tough days working out in the yard, trying to get everything ready for this wedding that we're getting ready for. So you can also vibrate it to the atmosphere and all the people that are around you. And then you can set or lean this up against a bottle of water or a container full of water, and you can vibrate frequencies into the water. So the other night, I had a long drive home and I leaned this up against my water bottle, and you could, without touching the table, you could see the vibrations entering into the water. And see, our bodies are like 90% water. And anytime that you're hydrated, your body's going to receive those frequencies and retain them longer. So you can vibrate your water and then drink it, which is pretty cool. You can also vibrate it for sleep and a number of other things. And then there's a classic, or not the classic, but the Carolyn McMakin programs. And she's really the reason why they came up with the Mag Healy, because we're incorporating technology from her in this, and she's created the frequency specific microcurrent and has perfected that over the last 25 years. Even has her continuing edge. It's a 2-channel microcurrent is what always found that now that the 2-channel networks as simple as you can where she's got a.
Okay, I think we lost
There it
you for a second there, but yeah, did you want to add
I'm
anything?
back. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, Carolyn McMakin, if you can get her book Resonance Effect and read that, that'll give you a lot of insight on the technology that is incorporated into this Mag Healy. So
Yeah, and she treats a lot of professional sports players with those frequency specific microcurrents. And can I just say, those Chicago Bears probably need it after the Green Bay Packers beat the crap out of them last night. You can't tell I'm from Wisconsin. I know. And any of you out there who have sleep issues, oh my God, I have never slept so well in my entire life. Seriously, ladies, postmenopausal, 7 hours straight without getting up to pee. That's unheard of, ladies. You know that. So for that alone, you want one of these.
Yeah, us men in our 50s, and so we have trouble, going through the night without having to get up to pee too. But I've noticed that that's been me lately. I fall asleep, I don't wake up till 6, 7 in the morning, and I've not gotten up all night. So we're both sharing probably a little bit too much information, Lori, but we're open books, right?
But David, if we tell them the truth about what happens to us in our lives, then they'll understand why these devices are so important and what they really do. All the science is all gravy, and that's lovely, but everybody wants to know what's it going to do for me, right?
Yeah, so you can see on my screen here that after a little while running the program, look, it starts showing progress. It's saying at this frequency, 21,932.7 hertz, I have 69% progress. That number, as that frequency will come around every 3 or 4 or 5 frequencies. There's a queue now of frequencies, and that number will keep increasing. When it hits 100%, that one drops out, a new one comes into the queue based on it scanning my field. It's very cool how this is working, and the science behind this being, and I'm going to just let this go for 42 more minutes and let it finish this program, of course. And that's what you can be doing every day. I hope you can see from what we've shared that this is something that can help you. And just, you see all those programs in there for fitness and learning and mental balance. It's just, everything is covered. And for you, your family, your pets, everybody. And if you want, you can share this with the world and be part of helping this company become a multi-billion-dollar company and accomplish our goal of 100 million families owning a Healy in the world. So I hope you'll join us. Please get back with the person that told you about Healy if you do want to either find out more information, or you have some questions, or you're ready to order your Healy. This discount, it goes till the end of September. So what I would recommend is get your Healy ordered now and share this information with as many people as you can between the now and the end of September, so they can get this discount too. Because I guarantee you, after October 1st, it's probably, they may have some kind of a promotion, but I doubt it's going to be 50% off on every edition except gold. So I would jump on board and use this and share this with people and help them get a Healy. Honestly, by the end of the month, you could have already earned a free Healy just by referring some people and giving them this amazing discount. So with that, I'm going to say good night. How about you and Ray and Lori? So, last thing to say.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Please reach out to whoever recommended you join us this evening, and come play with us. We're having so much fun changing the world one frequency at a time.
good night, all.
Yeah. And this is recorded. That it will be uploaded to YouTube soon. So again, check with the person that told you about Healy, and they can get you the recording if you'd like to see us again or share it with somebody. Thank you. Good night.